Probably said one of these 5 phrases to you, and when they said it, you probably felt loved, cared for, maybe even guilty for doubting them. But here's the uncomfortable truth. These phrases aren't about love. They're about control, and by the end of this video, you'll never hear them the same way again. Manipulation doesn't usually look like a villain twirling a mustache. It looks like someone who says all the right words. Words that sound like care, like love, like concern. That's what makes it so hard to spot. Your brain hears, "I care about you," and files it under safe. It doesn't question the intent behind it. Psychologists call this benevolent-sounding control, manipulation wrapped in language that mimics genuine concern. And once you learn to spot it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. In relationships, at work, even in families. Phrase number 1. I'm just worried about you. This is usually the first phrase to show up and the hardest to argue with. Because on the surface, it sounds caring. Who gets mad at someone for worrying? But here's the pattern. This phrase is almost always used right before a boundary gets crossed. Checking your phone. I'm just worried about who you're talking to. Showing up unannounced. I was worried, so I came to check. Questioning your decisions. I'm just worried you're making a mistake. Notice something. Real worry usually leads to a question. Are you okay? Do you want to talk? Manipulative worry leads to an action, checking, controlling, showing up. It skips right past your consent. The tell isn't the worry itself. It's what happens right after it. Phrase number 2. I'm only telling you this because I love you. This phrase is a setup line. It's almost never followed by something kind. It's followed by criticism about your looks, your choices, your friends, your job, dressed up as honesty. The trick here is that it borrows the language of love to deliver something that has nothing to do with love. Real love doesn't need a disclaimer. Nobody says, I'm only complimenting you because I love you. The phrase only shows up before something that would otherwise sound harsh. If you notice someone using love as a permission slip to say hurtful things, that's not honesty. That's manipulation borrowing love's credibility. Phrase number 3. No one else would put up with you like I do. This one is quieter, but far more damaging over time. It's not really a compliment. It's a threat disguised as loyalty. What it's really saying is, you're lucky I'm still here, because no one else would want you. That sentence is designed to do one thing, make you afraid to leave. Not because you're happy, because you've been convinced you have no other options. This is a core tactic in what psychologists call isolation-based control, slowly convincing someone that the manipulator is their only source of acceptance. And once you believe that, staying doesn't feel like love anymore. It feels like survival. Phrase number 4. I guess I'm just a bad person then. This phrase almost always shows up right after you've set a boundary. You say something like, I need some space, or that hurt my feelings, and suddenly, they're the victim. This is called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Instead of acknowledging what you said, they flip the emotional weight onto themselves, and now you're the one comforting them for hurting you. The result? Your boundary never actually gets addressed, because now you're too busy managing their guilt to enforce what you needed in the first place. Phrase number 5. I only act this way because of how much I care. This is the umbrella phrase, the one that tries to justify everything. The jealousy, the controlling behavior, the outbursts. All of it gets excused with one line. It's because I care so much. But here's the truth this video is really about. Care that requires control isn't care. It's ownership. Real care doesn't need to restrict your freedom to prove itself. It doesn't need guilt, fear, or shame as its delivery method. If someone's caring behavior leaves you feeling smaller, more anxious, or less free, that's not love. That's a leash with nicer words on it. So what do you actually do when you hear one of these phrases? You don't need to accuse anyone or start a fight. Just get curious instead of comforted. Ask, what specifically are you worried about? Ask, what do you mean by that? Manipulative phrases fall apart under specifics because they were never meant to be examined. They were meant to be felt and accepted without question. Real care can survive a question. Manipulation usually can't. Caring sounds like respect. Manipulation sounds like guilt with better PR. If this helped you recognize a pattern in your own life, that's not a coincidence. It's why we make these videos. Subscribe for more psychology that actually protects you, not just entertains you.